right, folks, buckle up. Or actually, don't bother buckling. These aren't your everyday haulers. These are giant beasts of the mining world. Some are taller than a house, carry hundreds of tons of rock, and roar like a jet engine when they roll. From the legendary belaz to caterpillar monsters, these 10 dump trucks prove that when it comes to moving dirt, size really does matter.
Click the subscribe button. This is the channel where you will find rare and incredible facts about cars.
Number 10. The belaz 75131. The pride of Belarus, and the kind of truck that makes even American monster trucks look like Tonka toys. This isn't your uncle's Chevy pickup, folks. Nope. This is a rolling apartment complex with wheels. A dump truck that can haul 300 tons like it's a sack of potatoes from Costco. Now, let me set the scene. Imagine you're at the mine, sipping your coffee, when suddenly you hear a low rumble, like God himself clearing his throat. That's the belaz 75131 warming up. And when this beast rolls by, the ground shakes. It doesn't drive on roads, it is the road. Honestly, you could pave a highway on top of the hood and nobody would notice. And the size? Forget full-size pickup. This thing makes F-150s look like Hot Wheels. The tires are taller than a basketball player on stilts. And the cab? It's basically a studio apartment with a steering wheel. I'm not kidding. You could rent it out on Airbnb if you threw in a mini fridge. Now, 300 tons. That's what this monster hauls. For reference, that's like carrying 50 elephants, 2 blue whales, or every cheeseburger sold in Wisconsin during football season. And it does it day in, day out, without breaking a sweat. You think your pickup's tough because it hauls a jet ski? Cute. The belaz laughs at your jet ski. It could carry the lake too, just for kicks. Of course, fuel economy? Oh, forget about it. Miles per gallon? More like gallons per mile. This thing drinks diesel like frat boys drink beer on a Saturday night. You don't fill it up, you negotiate with an oil company. But hey, you're not driving this to Starbucks, you're moving literal mountains. The belaz 75131 came out in the late 90s, but still runs strong today in mines all over the world. Why? Because when you build something like this, you don't worry about resale value or cup holders. You worry about one thing. Can it move half a mountain before lunch? And the answer, yes, with style. So, let's call it what it is. The king of the quarry, the heavyweight champ of the dirt pit, the big dog that makes other trucks whimper. It's the kind of machine that makes you feel like a kid again, standing there with your jaw on the floor, thinking, man, I just want to climb that ladder and pretend I'm the boss. Number 9. The Komatsu 960E1, the Japanese mega truck that looks less like something you drive and more like something NASA accidentally left on Earth after a moon mission. This bad boy is a 360-ton hauler. Yeah, 360 tons. That's not a typo. That's not a rounding error. That's enough to make your local DOT inspector pass out cold. Now, first things first, this isn't your average truck. You don't just hop in, toss your Starbucks in the cup holder, and head to Target. Oh no, the 960E1 doesn't even know what a cup holder is. This is a mountain mover, a dirt-devouring dragon on wheels. Its tires are so big, you could park a Honda Civic inside one and still have room for your cooler and lawn chairs. And here's the kicker. It's an electric drive truck. Now don't get it twisted, this isn't your cousin's little Prius silently zipping around town. Nah, this is Japan saying, we're gonna build a Prius the size of a skyscraper, and it's still gonna haul more than your entire hometown weighs. It's diesel-powered, sure, but instead of sending that juice straight to the wheels, it runs a generator and sends electricity to giant motors. So yeah, technically it's a hybrid, just one that could run over your house and not even notice. Let's talk payload. 360 tons. That's like hauling 60 African elephants, 25 school buses, or every fridge sold at Best Buy on Black Friday. And it does it with the kind of cool, calm confidence that makes you jealous. The truck doesn't sweat, doesn't complain, just chews through mountains like a kid demolishing a bag of Doritos. And don't get me started on size. The thing's nearly 50 feet long and 24 feet tall. That's not a truck. That's a mobile apartment complex with a steering wheel. You don't climb into it, you take an elevator. And when you're sitting in the driver's seat, looking down at everything else, you feel like the president of planet Earth. A little car pulls up next to you at the mine? Forget it. You can't even see them. For all you know, it's a Bugatti down there, or maybe just a squirrel. Who can tell? Of course, all that muscle comes with a price. Fuel economy? Oh, don't even ask. This thing burns diesel like a rock band burns through hotel rooms. You measure consumption in gallons per blink. Let's put it this way. If you tried to daily drive this beast, you'd have to buy your gas station just to keep up. But here's the thing. The 960E1 doesn't care about rush hour or parallel parking. Its whole job is mines, mines, and more mines. This thing lives where the air smells like dust, where the ground shakes with every load, where men walk around with lunchboxes the size of tool chests. And the Komatsu? It's the undisputed king of that jungle. So, what do we call it? It's not just a truck. It's a rolling Godzilla of dirt. A monster born in Japan, stomping through mines, hauling half a mountain in one gulp. It's big, it's bold, and it's proof that when the Japanese want to flex, they don't just build a sports car, they build a machine that could crush a sports car into a keychain.
Number 8. The Caterpillar 795FAC. Uncle Sam's answer to, hey, how do we move an entire mountain without breaking a sweat? This rig ain't just a truck, it's a rollin' skyscraper with attitude, a red-blooded, diesel-chuggin' electric drive beast straight out of the US of A. Now, first things first, the payload. 345 tons. Let me say that again, 345 tons. That's the equivalent of hauling around every single linebacker in the NFL, plus their fans, their stadium, and probably a couple tailgate grills for good measure. If your F-150 thinks it's tough because it can tow a boat, this Caterpillar just towed 3 small towns and didn't even look winded. And here's where it gets spicy. It's got that AC electric drive system. Now don't go confusing this with your grandma's window AC unit. We're talking about some NASA-level engineering here. The massive diesel engine fires up a generator, which powers electric motors strapped to the wheels. The result? This thing rolls smoother than Sinatra in a tuxedo. You get all that torque without having to deal with some transmission crying for mercy. It's like plugging a semi-truck into an iPhone charger and watching it pull the Rockies uphill. And size? Forget about it. The 795FAC stands taller than a 2-story house and stretches longer than a bowling alley. The tires alone are so huge, you could hold a barbecue inside one and invite the whole neighborhood. Seriously, park your Chevy Silverado inside a Caterpillar tire, and it's not a truck anymore, it's a lug nut. Now let's talk comfort, 'cause believe it or not, these miners ain't out here suffering like pioneers. Climb up into the cab of this beast, and you've got more switches, gauges, and screens than an air traffic control tower. Air-conditioned seats, suspension systems that could make a lazy boy jealous, and visibility that lets you see into tomorrow. It's not driving, it's commanding a mobile fortress. But don't think for a second this truck is polite. No, sir. When the Caterpillar 795 FAC fires up, the ground doesn't just rumble, it straight up files a noise complaint. It's got that deep, chest-thumping roar that says, "Step aside, Prius, Daddy's working." Fuel? Oh yeah, she's thirsty. This rig doesn't do miles per gallon. We're talking gallons per minute. But that's the price of power, baby. You don't ask a bald eagle how much freedom it eats a day. You just salute it and let it fly. And let's not forget, this truck is all American. Born in Illinois, stamped with that cat logo like a badge of honor, and built to outmuscle anything on the planet. You put this rig in a monster truck rally, and the monster trucks would just pack up, shake its hand, and go home. The Caterpillar 795 FAC ain't just hauling dirt. It's hauling America's reputation for going big or going home. It's a steel-fisted declaration that when it comes to mining, we don't mess around. We bring the horsepower, we bring the torque, and we roll into the pit like we're invading Normandy.
Number 7. The Belaz 75601. Straight out of Belarus, and let me tell ya, this ain't your average grocery getter. Nope. This is a rolling fortress of steel that makes your Silverado look like a toy Tonka truck left in the sandbox. First things first, payload. This bad boy hauls 320 tons. Not pounds, not kilos, tons. That's like strapping the Statue of Liberty, a school bus, and your Uncle Larry's fishing boat in the back and saying, no problem, comrade, we'll get it there. The belaz doesn't blink. It just squats down, grunts once, and drags half the planet with it. Now, when you look at this machine, you don't see truck. You see apartment complex on wheels. The tires? Forget about it. Each one's taller than Shaquille O'Neal wearing stilts, and probably costs more than your house. Climb up into the cab, and you need either a ladder, an elevator, or maybe a Sherpa guide just to make the ascent. And the engine? Oh, buddy, we're not talking about some dainty 4-cylinder here. We're talking about a diesel monster that spits out 3,500 horsepower. That's like strapping 70 Honda Civics together and whipping them into shape like a Soviet marching band. It doesn't purr, it doesn't hum, it straight up growls like a grizzly bear on energy drinks. Handling? Let's be real, this truck ain't doing donuts in the Walmart parking lot. The belaz 75601 doesn't handle, it just goes where it wants. You don't steer it so much as politely suggest a direction and hope it listens. It's like trying to convince a moose to use the crosswalk. Technically possible, but good luck. And while it may be Belarusian, the vibe it gives off is universal. I'm huge, I'm unstoppable, and if you get in my way, you're flatter than a pancake at a Sunday diner. It's not a vehicle, it's a declaration of dominance. Here's the kicker. This thing's still rolling in mining pits all over the world. Day in, day out, hauling mountains like it's Uber Eats for boulders. And guess what? It's still standing tall. Because the belaz ain't here to look pretty or sip fuel through a straw. It's here to move the earth. Literally.
So next time you complain about your car's trunk being too small for Costco runs, just remember, somewhere out there in the cold iron pits of Belarus, the belaz 75601 is casually carrying 300 tons of rocks like it's hauling groceries.
Number 6. The Hitachi EH5000 AC3, Japan's biggest, baddest dump truck. And let me tell you, this ain't some sushi-sized compact commuter car we're talking about. No. This is the Godzilla of mining trucks, and it hauls more rocks than your uncle hauls excuses at Thanksgiving dinner. Now check this out. The payload? 326 tons. That's right, 326 tons of whatever mountain you just blew apart. Put it another way, that's like stacking about 200 Toyota Corollas in the bed and saying, yup, still room for dessert. It's less of a truck and more of a rolling mountain goat on steroids. The heart of this beast is a 2,850 horsepower engine, and not just any engine, but one that's paired with AC drive technology. That's right, this thing's rolling around like a giant Tesla for miners. You know you're in the future when a truck this massive is running on high-tech electrics. It doesn't whisper though. Oh no, it still roars like a sumo wrestler who just stubbed his toe. And let's talk size, because everything about this truck screams XXL. The tires? Each one is taller than your mom's 2-story house and costs more than a beach condo in Miami. The cab? Forget climbing in casually. You need steps, handrails, and probably a Sherpa to guide you up there. Once you're in though, it's basically a mobile command center. Push buttons, flip switches, and you feel like you're launching a space shuttle, except instead of orbiting Earth, you're hauling half of it. Now here's the funny part. Despite being from Japan, a country famous for tiny little K-cars that can park in your closet, they went full send with this one. It's almost like the engineers said, yeah, we build tiny cars for Tokyo traffic, but check this out. Here's a truck so big it can move Mount Fuji if it wanted to. Handling? Let's be real. This truck doesn't handle. You don't take it around corners, you take it around zip codes. The turning radius is so wide, you could run a county fair inside it. But that's the point. It's not built for drag races or quick U-turns. It's built to pick up a mountain and drop it somewhere else before lunchtime. This truck is what we'd call a straight-up unit. It's the guy at the gym nobody spots because he's benching planets. It's the neighbor who shows up to a barbecue with a smoker the size of an RV. It's too big to be subtle, too strong to be ignored. While most cars are out here flexing about miles per gallon, the Hitachi EH5000 AC3 is flexing about tons per trip. And when you've got 326 tons riding in your back pocket, well buddy, you're not a truck anymore, you're a legend. In short, this isn't just Japan's largest hauler, it's a rolling Godzilla with cup holders. Number 5. The Komatsu 980E4, Japan's monster of the mining world. Now listen, this bad boy isn't your everyday hauler. This isn't the kind of truck you roll up in at Walmart to flex on the neighbors. No, the 980E4 is a 400-ton workhorse. That's right, 400 tons. Let me put that in perspective. If you tried to load up every uncle, aunt, cousin, and their lawn furniture into the bed of this thing, you'd still have room left for a bowling alley and a swimming pool. It's not a truck, folks. It's a rolling skyscraper with a dump bed. Under the hood, well, actually under a hood the size of a small football field, you've got a massive diesel engine cranking out nearly 4,000 horsepower. That's not a typo. 4,000 horses. And I'm not talking about little ponies from a petting zoo. I'm talking about full-on Clydesdales in a bad mood. This thing could probably tow your entire neighborhood and still have time to swing by for tacos.
And let's talk reliability, because Komatsu built this thing to laugh in the face of danger. Blizzards? It says cute. Desert heat? It says turn up the sauna. Mud, rocks, or terrain that would eat a pickup alive? The 980E4 chews it up like beef jerky and asks for seconds. It's the kind of machine that doesn't call AAA. AAA calls it when they're in trouble. Now, size-wise, the cab of this beast is so high up, you don't get in, you summit it. You need a ladder, climbing gear, and maybe a pep talk just to make it to the driver's seat. Once you're up there, though, it's less truck cab and more like the Oval Office on stilts. Buttons everywhere, screens, controls. It feels like you're piloting a battleship. And let me tell you, when you hit the throttle, the Earth doesn't just move, it files a complaint. Here's where the humor kicks in. Can you imagine parallel parking one of these in downtown Tokyo? Forget it. The turning radius is so wide, you'd start turning on a Monday and finish on Thursday. Good luck backing into a space. You'd need 3 spotters, a prayer, and probably an air traffic controller. But here's the thing. While other trucks out here might be flashy or overhyped, the Komatsu 980E4 is just a blue-collar champ. It doesn't brag, it doesn't break down crying, it just shows up every day like, "All right, boss, point me at a mountain, let's get to work." In American slang, we'd call this one a straight-up grinder. It's not pretty, it's not dainty, but it's the guy in the group project who actually gets the work done while everyone else is on their phones. So, to sum it all up, the Komatsu 980E4 is a 400-ton legend on wheels. It's big, it's tough, it's reliable, and it makes every other truck look like a Tonka toy from the dollar store. If Godzilla ever needed a moving service, trust me, this would be the rig he'd call. Number 4. The Terex by Cyrus
MT6300AC. Yeah, that name sounds like a password you'd forget right after typing it, but make no mistake, this bad boy is pure stars, stripes, and diesel thunder. Now, the MT6300AC isn't your average truck. Nope. This ain't something you toss a couple bags of mulch in on a Saturday morning Home Depot run. This monster is built to haul 400 tons. That's right, 400 tons. You know what that is? That's like hauling an entire Costco, including the free sample ladies and their microwaves, in one go. And this beast was born in the USA, engineered for the biggest, baddest mining pits in the land. America doesn't do medium, we do supersized. And the MT6300AC is proof. It's basically a rolling bald eagle with an attitude problem. Let's peek under the hood. Well, under the hood the size of Rhode Island. We're talking a 3,750 horsepower engine. That's enough juice to power a small town or launch your cousin's bass boat into orbit. And here's the kicker. It doesn't just run on old school gears. It's got AC electric drive. Translation? This truck doesn't just move. It glides like a freight train on Red Bull. And let me tell you, when you're up in the driver's cab, you're not driving, you're commanding. You're sitting higher than most office buildings, looking down at other trucks like, "Oh, that's cute. Is that your little Hot Wheels car?" You've got buttons, gauges, and controls that look like NASA mission control, but instead of launching rockets, you're hauling mountains. Now, in classic American fashion, this truck is big, loud, and unapologetic. Sure, the Japanese and Belarusians have their mega haulers too, but this is the truck that shows up with cowboy boots, a steak dinner, and says, "Y'all ready to move some dirt?" And it delivers every single time. Of course, let's not pretend it's perfect. Try parallel parking this sucker in downtown New York. Forget about it.
You'd cause a traffic jam so bad they'd write country songs about it. The turning radius? Let's just say if you start turning in Nevada, you'll finish in Utah. But reliability? Oh, this thing is like your granddad's Craftsman wrench. Solid, dependable, built to last, and if it breaks, it's probably because you did something dumb. The MT6300 AC laughs at weather, shrugs off rough terrain, and basically says to Mother Nature, "Nice try, sweetheart, but I got work to do." So what is this truck really? It's the American dream on 6-story tall wheels. It's a reminder that when America builds big, we build huge. It's not here for style points, it's here to get the job done, and to look like a mountain with headlights while doing it. In short, the Terex by Cyrus MT6300 AC is a rolling fortress of horsepower, a 400-ton dirt-moving king of the pits, and quite possibly the most American thing you can drive without an F-150 badge on the grill.
Number 3. The Liebherr T284, the lightweight giant from Germany and Switzerland. Now I know what you're thinking. How the heck can something that weighs more than a herd of elephants be called lightweight? Well, when you're playing in the ultra-class dump truck league, lightweight means it can carry 400 tons of rock and still look like it's skipping leg day. See, the T284 is like that friend at the gym who's benching 3 plates while sipping a protein shake and talking philosophy. On paper, it's a monster. In practice, smooth, efficient, and a little smug about it. You know how Americans build trucks, all muscle, chrome, and yeehaw? Well, the Germans and Swiss said, yeah, we can do that, but let's add a PhD in engineering and a watch that keeps time within half a second for the next 1,000 years. Let's break it down. The T284 can haul 400 tons, same as the American Terex MT6300 AC. But here's the kicker. It's designed to be the lightest empty vehicle in its class. Translation? It's like a heavyweight boxer who floats around the ring like Muhammad Ali. More payload, less dead weight. That's German efficiency right there. They'll build a truck that can carry half a mountain, and then they'll brag that it sips fuel politely like it's having tea in Zurich. And the engine? Oh baby, we're talking up to 4,000 horsepower. That's like strapping 40 NASCARs together and pointing them at a rock pile. And it's not just brute strength. This thing's got diesel-electric drive, meaning it's part monster truck, part Tesla, all business. You step on the throttle and it doesn't roar so much as it delivers power with precision, like a German conductor leading an orchestra of pistons and electrons. Now, don't get me wrong, the cab still sits higher than a 3-story house, so when you're driving this thing, you're not so much behind the wheel as you are mayor of Halltown, population, you. You look down at bulldozers and think, ah, cute, a sandbox toy. But here's the part that cracks me up. The T284 is all about balance. The Americans show up with cowboy boots, screaming, "Let's move dirt!" The Belarusians show up with a beast that looks like it wrestled a bear. And the Germans? They roll up with this sleek, over-engineered hauler and say, "We calculated the optimum payload to efficiency ratio. Please stand back while we demonstrate superior math." And let's be real. If an American hauler is a rock concert, the T284 is a Beethoven symphony. Both move you, both blow your mind, but one comes with lederhosen and the other with ripped jeans. Of course, it ain't perfect. Try explaining to your insurance guy why your daily driver weighs as much as the Statue of Liberty. And the turning radius? Let's just say if you start a turn in Berlin, you'll finish it in Geneva. But all jokes aside, the Liebherr T284 is a marvel. It's smart, it's tough, and it's got enough power to make Mother Nature herself roll her eyes.
It's proof that the Germans and Swiss can take something gigantic and still make it run like a Swiss watch strapped to a bulldozer. The T-284 isn't just a truck. It's a rolling alpine mountain with horsepower in its veins, a reminder that lightweight in the mining world means just efficient enough to casually haul an entire neighborhood in one trip. Number 2. The Caterpillar 797F, the king-sized bad boy of the mining world. This ain't your daddy's pickup. This is the alpha dog of dump trucks, the monster that makes bulldozers look like Tonka toys. The 797F is Caterpillar's crown jewel, their mic drop moment. Payload, 400 tons. Yeah, that's not a typo. 400 tons of rock, dirt, and whatever else you throw in the back. That's like stacking 57 African elephants back there and rolling off into the sunset. And the best part? This beast doesn't even flinch. It just yawns, fires up that V20 diesel engine, and says, "Is that all you got, Chief?" Now let's talk power. Under the hood, if you can even call that thing a hood, more like a garage door for giants, sits a 117-liter, 20-cylinder diesel engine pumping out nearly 4,000 horsepower. That's not just power, that's rip the earth open like a bag of chips power. You put your foot down in the 797F and you don't accelerate, you declare war on gravity. But here's the kicker. This big fella still tops out at about 40 miles per hour. Sounds slow, right? But remember, this thing weighs more than a space shuttle. At 40 miles per hour, it's not driving, it's hauling the horizon toward you. Trust me, if you see one of these bad boys rolling downhill, you get out of the way, 'cause stopping it ain't happening. And man, the tires. Each one of these bad boys is 13 feet tall and costs about as much as a sports car. Imagine telling your wife, "Honey, I popped a tire." Then you roll in a bill the size of your mortgage. That's Caterpillar money, baby. Now, comfort? Don't expect leather seats and cup holders for your latte. This isn't a Cadillac, it's a workplace on wheels. But Caterpillar did kitten out with AC, some decent seating, and a cab that feels like a command center. When you're up there, 25 feet off the ground, you're not a driver. You're basically a captain of a battleship on land. You look down at regular pickup trucks and think, "Ah, look at those little ants in traffic, how cute." And here's where the American spirit kicks in. The 797F isn't delicate, it isn't subtle, and it sure as hell ain't sipping fuel politely like those European rigs. Nope, this thing gulps down diesel like a frat boy at a keg party. But that's the point, it's a brute. It was built to survive open-pit mines in the middle of nowhere, 24/7, rain or shine, uphill or downhill. And it doesn't complain. It just keeps grinding, like an old cowboy who doesn't know how to quit. So yeah, you've got your Komatsus and your Liebherrs, all fancy with their electric drives and their efficiency charts. But the Cat 797F? That's pure Americana. It's muscle over manners, brawn over beauty, horsepower over handshakes. It's the truck equivalent of a linebacker smashing through the line yelling, "USA! USA!"
Number 1. The Belaz 75-7010. You won't even see the seat belts from your office chair. We're talking about the absolute heavyweight champion of dump trucks, straight out of Belarus. A machine so massive, it makes the Cat 797F look like a go-kart. Meet the belaz 75-7010, the kingpin of hauling, the big daddy of the open pit. the truck that probably laughs at your Honda Civic every morning. Payload? Hold on to your lunch, 'cause it's 450 tons. Yep, that's 450 tons of dirt, rock, whatever, all in one massive rolling monster. That's like stacking nearly 65 elephants in the back and still having room for a basketball team. And this isn't a one-engine wonder, no sir. This beast rocks 2 diesel engines, pumping out a combined 5,000 horsepower. That's right, 5,000 horses under the hood. If horsepower were dollars, this thing would make Jeff Bezos look like he's playing Monopoly. Now let's talk tires. Each one of those bad boys is 4 meters tall. 4 meters! That's taller than your average one-story house. And you thought changing a flat on your Ford pickup was a pain. Imagine getting a spare for this bad boy. You might need a crane, a small army, and a motivational speech just to lift one. Speed? Don't expect to break land speed records. The belaz 75-70-10 tops out at about 40 miles an hour. Slow? Maybe by sports car standards. But remember, this is 450 tons of pure rolling muscle. When it starts moving downhill, gravity sends a "yo, good luck" memo. And yes, stopping it requires brakes the size of concert stages and probably a small prayer. Cabin life? Surprisingly cushy. The engineers didn't just throw you in a steel coffin with an exhaust pipe. The belaz 75-70-10 has air conditioning, ergonomic seating, and control panels that make a fighter jet blush. When you climb up there, you're not just driving a truck, you're commanding a mobile fortress. Look down and feel like a king, surveying your tiny, puny subjects crawling around in normal trucks. And the fuel? Let's just say this thing drinks diesel like it's water at a summer barbecue. Forget fuel efficiency. This bad boy was designed to move mountains, not save pennies at the pump. And frankly, anyone who whines about gas mileage here probably shouldn't even be in the same hemisphere. Here's the kicker. This monster is technically legal in Belarusian mines, but good luck finding a road big enough to let it roam. It's the kind of machine that makes you whisper, "Man, that's how you do heavy-duty Americana," except it's actually Belarusian, but close enough. And let's be honest, if the belaz 75-70-10 were a president, it wouldn't be shaking hands or giving speeches. Nope. It'd roll into the room, twin engines roaring like a rock concert, shake the ground beneath you, and say, "I'm in charge. You get out of my way." So, in short, the belaz 75-70-10 is the unquestioned heavyweight champion of haul trucks. A 450-ton, twin-engine, tire mountain-moving legend. It's not subtle, it's not polite, and it sure as heck isn't small. If you ever see one in the wild, tip your hat. You're witnessing a monster that makes every other truck on Earth look like a Matchbox toy.